Alrighty, well, hello everyone, and welcome to another interview in the Future Proof Your Law Firm group. Today has been very exciting. We've had multiple attorneys here today, and right now I'm very honored to have Demetria Graves. Thank you so much for being here, Demetria. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So what I would want to do right now, if you could start off by just giving a brief introduction of yourself, and talk a little bit about, where you came from, what your law firm's focusing on right now, that would be great.
Awesome. So, first of all, thanks again for having me. I am Demetria Graves. I am the owner of the Graves Law Firm, which is primarily and only focused on family law. I am a certified family law specialist. I have an office in Pasadena and an office in Beverly Hills. I have been doing this, I'm actually afraid to say, for almost 16 years now. And I love law firm ownership. I started my firm approximately 6 months out of law school. I don't know if I always advised that, but it was kind of my circumstances, and that's what I did. And here I am, 16 years later.
Gotcha. That is very cool. Well, good for you. That's fascinating. We've spoken to multiple family law attorneys from all over as of late. I'd be interested. One thing that everybody's been kind of talking about is that the number of divorces have kind of been increasing with everything going on, and that even though COVID was tough for a lot of people, for people specializing in divorce, it seemed like there was a little bit of an uptick.
Mhm.
Was that kind of the same for your practice as well?
Yes, and it's really bittersweet, right? Because it's great for business, but you think about the couples that are divorcing after 20, 30, 40 years. To me, that's really tough. I've seen an uptick in that space where people have been married a very long time and kind of called it quits. So yes, it was definitely an uptick, but it was kind of sad to see.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's kind of a bittersweet moment for sure.
Right.
I would love to know though, with that uptick, I mean, were there any challenges that you faced during COVID? Because, I know some law firms were more easily able to adapt to the digital format, and other ones it was very challenging.
Right. Well, my firm has started already kind of transforming to more web-based programs, doing things more remote, putting things in the cloud in ways that made it more accessible for everyone if we weren't, physically in the office. So I felt our transition was a little easier. And the courts began to make things easier as well. We can fax file documents, we can appear remotely. So it made it extremely easy for us to get done what we needed to get done. And I think the biggest benefit from COVID, if there's a benefit from COVID, was the courts having to make such transitions and things we requested for a long time, such as remote hearings, fax filing, making it a lot easier for attorneys and regular litigants to
Yeah.
file and have their matters heard.
Yeah, no, I think it's something, like you said, it was obviously a very difficult time for everybody, but I think there are definitely things to be learned from this situation,
Right.
that can be taken off, and further grown upon because, if, God knows if anything would ever happen like this again, if you forget everything that just happened and you go back to how it was before, you're going to be in the same place you were before. So being
Right.
able to adjust, and I think the whole court system and legal industry as a whole is starting to see that online behaviors,
Mhm.
technology is not going anywhere. You're
Right.
going to
Nope.
probably have to roll with the punches a little bit if
Right.
you really want to try and, in the name of the group, future proof
Right.
your firm.
Right.
So what are some things that you guys have been doing, besides just, with divorces increasing, to make sure that business is still kind of steadily flowing?
Right.
What are some things that you guys have been doing?
It's been so busy kind of from word of mouth for us that we've been kind of slammed there. What
Oh,
we've
good.
done is utilize more web-based programs. We've utilized basically a remote receptionist because the influx of calls was heavy, and it was a lot for one person. So we had to call in a remote receptionist to kind of help with our calendar, which we all know we can do online now. Um, We do our forms on a web-based program called Law that we use that I really like. It's web-based, so we don't have to be at a particular computer, which a lot of our programs we were before, there was a program, but it was only for one particular computer. So
Mhm.
now there's a lot of programs that are web-based. I can log in forever from wherever I am, which is very helpful for me. And then, of course, I think what really makes it easier for me is I can appear online and I can be in two, three different hearings at a time, which you can do in the courthouse, but you're running from floor to floor to floor.
Oh yeah.
So I think the major shift for us was making sure everything was web based. And again, it was a godsend for the court to allow us to appear telephonically or now by video. And I'm just praying they keep that long term because
Yeah.
especially for the smaller hearings, it doesn't make sense, to travel 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, $25 for parking. It's just a lot easier for myself and for our clients.
Definitely. Yeah. I think, technology brings a lot of efficiency for sure.
Oh,
I think that's
yes.
that's one big thing that technology it's important for sure.
Right.
And I think, for people to kind of adopt some of those web-based, applications like you're talking about, that's very
Right.
important. I'd love to dig a little bit deeper,
Sure.
because we like to, offer some insight. So, right now, phones are slammed. That's awesome. How did you get there? How did you get to your phones being slammed? Is it something,
Mhm.
just years of business building up referrals, or did you do some type of marketing? How did you get to where you are with that?
I think at the end of the day, it's consistency. Is always showing up, always doing good work, right? Because if I do good work for you, Luke, then you're going to go tell your friends, oh, this is an excellent family law attorney. And then your friends tell their friends. So I think number one is consistency and learning to be the best or one of the best or however you want to look at it in your field. I think that was number one for me. We
Hmm.
did, now we have some Facebook ads, maybe websites aren't as popular as they used to be. I think it's important to have a presence, but I don't think people go to websites like they once did. We
Hmm.
do. I started during COVID a podcast called Legally Uncensored, where I kind of help people walk through their issues and give practical advice, essentially, of how to handle, the more popular topics that we see in the office. Because I have to be honest, everyone can't afford an attorney. So that
Yeah.
was my way of kind of advertising the business, but also giving some practical advice for those that need it. And then just showing up for 16 years has really been the key for me.
Sure. No, definitely. I think that's, consistently putting in 110% effort is very important, whether you're in a law firm or you want to work out or you eat healthy, being consistent is very important for sure. And I think that's
Right.
something that a lot of people miss out on. They think,
Mhm.
oh, I'm trying to find this one golden ticket.
Mhm.
But it might be more important to find, the smaller things, but do
Right.
that consistently. And that's what's really going to lead to, that long-term success that luckily it seems like you guys have, which is fantastic.
Right. Well, I tell everyone, especially younger attorneys that kind of want to know how we got to where we are, is sometimes it will take you 10, 15 years to be an overnight success. Unfortunately, we can't, in a rare form, someone might be able to open their doors and take off within a year, but that's just not realistic.
Mhm.
So stick to
Definitely.
it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's very important. So thank you for sharing that. I'd be curious, with everything going so good as it is, do you have goals for in the future, things you're working on or what you're kind of moving towards?
Right. Like I said, I think it's important to provide a platform for those who can hire an attorney because so many people don't have the resources to do it. So, however, I can get the information through the podcast or otherwise to whoever needs it, I think that's important. I also think it's important to mentor other attorneys in the field who want to, serve in family law because a lot of people don't. It's a hard field.
Mhm.
And so I do mentor younger attorneys who want to practice in the family law space. And I think it's important to give back in every way possible. And then I also wrote a book because I can't mentor 200 people at one time. So I
Yeah.
did write a book, and it's called When Women Run the Firm. And it's basically a really practical, very easy read on, the steps I wish I would have taken when I opened my practice, and just providing a roadmap for those who want to take the leap of faith.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the book? What inspired you to write it? I know you kind of talked
Yes.
about it a little bit. What inspired
Yes.
you to write it? If people want to learn more about it, where can they find it?
I'm really excited and stressed out, I must say, because it's going to be released on Sunday. And what people don't tell you is all the little details that go into releasing a book,
Yeah.
even something like this. So it was a lot of work. However, it's just a very easy, practical, step by step guide on kind of what to consider when you want to open a law practice. When I opened my law practice, I was 6 months out of law school. I had no clue on how to run the business, what that meant, running a law firm, what that meant, putting it all together. I had no clue. So I was kind of learning on the job. So I basically put everything I learned in the book. And then I also was fortunate enough to have 7 colleagues that kind of provided their experiences as well. So the readers can get a global view of kind of what we all did to um, start our own law practices.
Gotcha. That sounds very informative. It sounds like a good read. So if somebody does, say, oh, I want to check out the book, where could they go and find it?
On Amazon, it will be there on Sunday. It's called When Women Run the Firm, How to Successfully Launch and Run a Law Practice by yours
Nice.
truly, Demetria Grace.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, no, definitely anybody watching that wants to check that out. That sounds like a very good read. So, diving back into things that are going on right now with your firm,
Yes.
as you guys are kind of you're continuing to kind of do these other forms of media. I know that's something, content marketing is a
Mhm.
big thing nowadays because, traditionally, in the past, lawyers need to do a billboard. But I
Right.
think there's a big problem with doing billboards because
Right.
there's so many of them out there. And
Right.
the thing with a billboard is you can't really differentiate yourself that much with a
Right.
billboard. But
Right.
with content marketing, you can actually, share more about yourself. You can
Right.
actually go ahead and do more personalization and
Right.
people relate to that more.
Right.
So
Right.
it seems like that's kind of more stuff that you're doing. So for a lawyer that was looking to maybe get into that, what are some strategies you'd share that you think would be beneficial for them?
I think for the generation coming up now, I think there's so much. You have TikTok. I've seen lawyers on TikTok sharing information. I've seen lawyers on YouTube providing video information. I've seen lawyers doing exactly what you're doing, going live on Facebook or Instagram or something along those lines. I've seen some attorneys do podcasts. I've seen just regular posting on a page on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever platform attorneys decide to use. But I think it's important that attorneys realize potential clients are looking for content, not how long you've been in practice, not where your practice is any longer. It's more about kind of what can you do for me and what is your reputation like?
Oh, sure, definitely. I know, probably a question people have is, okay, I write this content, but how do I get people to check it out? How do I get
Right,
people to see it? What
right.
what are some things that you would share on that end?
You have to start building your following, right? So you can pick a platform, if it's Facebook pages, if it's Facebook groups, if it's Instagram, if it's YouTube, if it's building a list from a website, having a landing page. You have to kind of choose your platform and start building your list, or the people that want to hear from you, and you kind of build from there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that comes back to kind of what we talked about a little while ago is being
Mhm.
consistent. You're not going to be
Right,
able to gain a following if you're not consistently posting and
right,
consistently posting good content. I know,
right,
sometimes people, they think that I forgot to do a social media post. Oh, let's just throw something out there. But if it's garbage,
Right.
people, I think it would be better to put out less content, but be more quality than put
Right.
out a bunch of content and it all be just really generic one-liner stuff, stock photos, nothing
Right.
at all.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you. And the more content, the more consistent your content, and of course being engaging with those who have signed up to follow you. I think that's important as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, engagement, like you said, is very crucial for sure. So, well, I appreciate it so far, and I have just a couple final questions for you.
Sure.
I would love to share, since you've written this book that's pretty specific about starting a firm, what is one kind of tidbit could you share about the book that you think would be valuable to our listeners today?
What I didn't realize going through the process was a lot of your success is going to depend on your mindset. Like, do you believe you can do this? Why are you doing this? What is your why? And actually committing to the process, because it is a process. Everything is not going to be roses and rainbows the whole journey. So I had to get in my mind. I started my practice when I was 25 years old. So I had to start really encouraging myself, because a lot of people might not believe in the vision or see it for you. I can honestly say my parents thought I was insane to
Yeah.
open a practice when I did. But if you really believe that that's something you want to do, and you really commit to it, and you kind of overcome some of those fears, because you will have them when you start, then I think the rest kind of falls in line, because you can learn about business, you can learn about running a practice, but it's really hard to base your um, encouragement on other people. That has to come from you. So I think
Definitely.
that's the first step in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it's, there's so many things I think, and I'm sure you cover this in your book when it comes to running a law firm that people, they go to law school thinking they're going to be a lawyer and they want to run their own practice. But you can't just be a lawyer when you're running your own practice. There's so
No.
many other things you need to do, business relating, marketing, and just mindset. Like you said, having a good mindset, that's probably a lot, like you said, people don't realize how important
Right.
it is, but it is very crucial for sure. So my final question for you today,
Sure.
specifically, for people that are maybe struggling to future-proof their firm, they're struggling to adapt to this kind of modern technology and everything. What is something, maybe a piece of technology that you use that's very helpful, or just some advice that you would give for them?
I think what you said earlier is important. We are in this space now where everything is moving fast. Technology is moving fast. Everything is moving fast. So one is an acceptance for all of us, right? That we're in the space where I still remember fax machines and dial up internet. So adapting to that it is moving fast. And as I mentioned before, I think one of the best things we did is find web-based programs in your specific area of expertise. One that I use, because family law is very form-based, is called Law Y'all. Law Y'all is web-based. So again, I can log on anywhere. All of my all the calendaring we do is online. Um, our call center is online. So most of what we do it web-based. So if anything ever happens, I can get into it. And I think that's the main thing that
Yeah.
we've done recently.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, that
Yeah.
law yaw is something I haven't heard anybody mention before. So definitely check that out and just
They should pay me because I'm plugging their program right now, but
really, I know they should.
it is something that I use.
No, that's good. Yeah, I think that maybe we'll get some sponsors on the show eventually. All these great technologies people mention.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Demetria. I know people, they know they can go to Amazon to find your book, but if they aren't interested in your law firm services, where could they go to find out about that?
The Graves Law Firm, we have a website still, just so we can have a
Okay.
presence there, but we are on every social media platform. Graves Law Firm is on Facebook. Graves Law Firm is on Instagram. LinkedIn, I am anywhere. And so am I personally, Demetria Graves.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Demetria, for being here today. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.
Thank you.